Welcome to the Crimeycade podcast. I am the Mecha conservative crime fighter. Oh, good. I've got audio. That's what I wanted to see here before I slap the headphones on. Welcome to the Crimeycade podcast. I am your former Gamer of the Year, current Pinball Expo champion, Gum and Ghost Arcade Pinball Expo champion, the Mecha conservative crime fighter, Stephen Lucas. Also the 91 Nintendo Campus Challenge national champion. Well, speaking of the Pinball Expo, and by the way, today is a special occasion. And, you know, I've got to pull this up here. I want to show this off because it's that day. It's that special day. And what day is that? Why, it's National Video Game Day! National Video Game Day, September the 12th. Now, it's not the only day of the year that celebrates video games, but in fact, there's a couple of them. But this is National Video Game Day. There's another day in the year called National Video Games Day, plural. Yeah, interesting thing. But speaking of Pinball Expo, to start the podcast off, I have something I need to get off my chest. So earlier this week, I went into my personal Crimeycade in the back of my garage and had this to say. More than a month to go. A little more than a month to go until the next Pinball Expo. The 40th! The 40th Pinball Expo! 40 years of flipping. That's a major milestone for an annual convention. Not many conventions can say they've lasted 40 years. And this title belt, I won in year 39. I tried in year 35. I tried in year 36. I tried in year 37. 38. I came up short. Year 39, I finally win this championship, this prestigious championship title. The Gum and Ghost Arcade Pinball Expo Championship. So finally, I come into the Pinball Expo as the champion. The champion. The champion has got to defend his title. I'll be defending this title in mid-October. There's just one problem. You see, Robert Berk, congratulations on your 40th, holding your 40th Pinball Expo. Also, congratulations on opening that massive arcade in Youngstown, Ohio. Pastime Arcade. 600 to 700 pinballs and arcade games. Yeah, you got a long way to go before you can catch Gum and Ghost Arcade mark of 1,004 arcade games on the floor. Yes, some games may be paired up in a cabinet. The individual Neo Geo cards count as a separate game. But yes, 1,004 games on the arcade floor. So you got another, I don't know, 400 machines to put on your arcade floor to match the world record. Once Guinness confirms it. But you see, Robert Berk, you know, for a champion to defend his title, there has to be the event in which I defend this title. I can just show up at the Pinball Expo with this belt in hand. But it doesn't mean I can defend this belt, because I have to have the proper venue to defend this belt. Ghost Arcade has brought an array of machines to the Pinball Expo the past 5 some odd years, maybe a little bit longer than that. But the Pinball Expo title has only been around for 5 years. It took me five tries to win this title. I couldn't beat Daniel Sam for this belt. Three attempts, he managed to walk away with this belt. Jimbo Slice managed to win this title the year that Daniel Sam stopped showing up. And yes, Jimbo Slice beat me for this belt 2 years ago. Last year, the year in which I won this title, I was expecting to face Jimbo Slice, the big rematch. Because I thought, if I'd known a little bit more tech on the games I was playing, I could have beat Jimbo Slice for this belt. But instead, he sat out. He said he couldn't deal with the pressure. He passed the reins on to his protege. So I had to wait to C2E2 to get my rematch against Jimbo Slice. I contested with him over the C2E2 championship. Well, the Pinball Expo was the best of 7. This is the best of 5. And Jimbo Slice, the legend that he is, the six-pack. He beat me fair and square. He beat me fair and square for the C2E2 championship. It just wasn't my day. But now I'm hearing that Jimbo Slice is going to sit out the Pinball Expo again this year. He's going to not step up to the plate and face me for this belt. Get that proper rematch I've been waiting for. Oh, the C2E2. Is it settled? Did my loss at C2E2 settle things? I don't think it settled things. I still believe I can beat Jimbo Slice for a championship. That's why I want to face Jimbo Slice one more time at the Pinball Expo. The Calvin Ghost Pinball Expo Super 7 tournament. I want to face Jimbo Slice one more time. But there's one problem. One problem. One thing stands in the way of that. And this is where I get to Robert Berk. Robert Berk, we're all waiting on you. We're all waiting. Sure, everybody comes to the Pinball Expo to play pinball. But some of us are hardcore arcade gamers. Yeah, overwhelming majority love pinball.
not so enthused about old classic arcade games like these. Not old classics. I want to participate in more arcade tournaments. I do. There's just not as many of them. Plus, everybody wants to play pinball. Either they want to play pinball, they want to play a fighting game tournament, or they want to play Mario Kart. Or Tetris. Classic high-scoring tournaments? Not so much. Now, I figure if I come to the Pinball Expo and start getting on the microphone and calling everybody in the convention out to step up to the plate, to face the champ, see if they have what it takes to defeat me for a belt like this, a replica of this belt. They create a new championship belt replica every year. The 40th anniversary is going to be super special. I expect a major special design to come up. That Duck Mecha is going to come up for that belt. That's assuming one thing. Robert Berk, why haven't you made Duck Mac an offer he can't refuse? We're waiting on you. We want the Garcade Ghost Arcade represented at the Pinball Expo again for the 40th anniversary. I want to defend my title in the 6th Pinball Expo Super 7 Arcade Tournament. Heck, the advertising, the scheduled events, it says Galvin Ghost is going to be holding their tournament. Does Duck Mac know that? Last I checked, nothing's been finalized. We're waiting for that offer. He's waiting for that offer that he can't refuse to bring back the Galvin Ghost Arcade back to the Pinball Expo. So I can defend my title, whether it be against Jimbo Slice, KG, Andrew Wasco, Daniel Sam, if he dares to show up this year, or any of the former Gamers of the Year, any of the Pinball Wizards in that convention hall in Schaumburg that want to step up and face me for this belt. I'm willing to fight. I am ready to fight, to prove once again how great of an arcade gamer I am. The 91 Nintendo Campus Challenge National Champion, former Galvin Ghost Hardcore Champion, former T20 Champion 2020, former Gamer of the Year, and now the current reigning and defending Galvin Ghost Pinball Expo Champion. I'm not done collecting belts. But come next month, yes, 1 month from now, I expect to be showing up to the Pinball Expo and have the venue, the proper space to defend this belt for the best arcade gamer at the Pinball Expo. That's what I want. And Robert Berk, we're waiting on you. It's time you stepped up to the plate. Insert that coin. Hit that start button. Pull that plunger. Launch the ball. Make that offer. The Duck Man can't refuse. So the Galvin Ghost Arcade can be there at the Pinball Expo so I can defend this championship. Oh, one other thing. Rumor has it, there's somebody else that's going to be at the Pinball Expo this year. I've faced him before. I'd like to face him again. I think he should enter the tournament for this belt if it happens. Brian Kuhn. Yes, I've heard you're coming back to the Pinball Expo this year, the 40th anniversary. We had that best of 7 match a few years ago. The legendary Brian Kuhn versus the mad conservative crime fighter Stephen Lucas. And I defeated him 4-3. The best of 7 challenge. The first best of 7 challenge that I was able to have. The first gamer to step up to the plate and accept one of my best of 7 challenges. And I proved that night that I was the better gamer. Brian Kuhn, if you are coming, I'd like to see you enter the Pinball Expo tournament, the arcade tournament. Or else we have another best of 7, a best of 7 rematch. Me versus Brian Kuhn one more time. But that all depends on one thing. One man. There's only one man who can make all this happen. Robert Berk, I'm looking at you. We need you. We need to hear from you. We need to step up to the plate. Make that offer that Doc Mac can't refuse. So the Captain Ghost Arcade can be back at the Pinball Expo again this year for the 40th anniversary. The biggest pinball convention ever in Chicago. That's what we want. That's what we're waiting for. So Robert Berk, pick up the phone, make the call, get dialed in, like that pinball says. That Jersey Jack pinball, dialed in. Get dialed in. Make the call. Make the offer. Let's get a deal done. Because I'm ready to play. I'm ready to defend my title and prove once again how much of a fighting champion I am. I'll see you in about a month. Schaumburg, get ready. The GGA Pinball Expo champion is coming back. I'm ready. Are you? See you soon.
And there you have it. Yeah, that is my promo for the upcoming Pinball Expo, running from October 15th to the 19th. Of course, they're starting a little bit sooner than that. They're starting on Tuesday, but the main 3 days is from, well, for those going for the 3-day, buying the 3-day pass instead of going to VIP treatment, 17th, 18th, 19th, but all the festivities start on the 15th. So, my guest for tonight. So, been some scheduling issues with other guests I booked on the program, and something happens and I couldn't make it in. And then there's other situations like, who can I get for next week? Who can I get for next week? And then the question was, how soon do I need to start bringing people back? Usually I bring people back when I'm missing when my guest has some sort of situation and they have to cancel at the last minute. But tonight, I'm going to bring back a guest who one offered to come back on and be the primary guest on the program. We have a couple of months ago. He had a lot to say, and I think he's got a lot more to say. But we also had proposed to talk about crimes in video gaming. So we didn't get to much of that. So we're going to make that. So that's going to be the primary focus of this podcast tonight is crimes in gaming. And let's welcome in. And he's at the workshop right now, doing what he does best, fixing games and making them work again and making them playable again. So here he is, the Mecha, George Spanos. How you doing tonight?
I am cleaning some stuff. I'm staying active because I'm technically at work right now.
At the Garcade.
Get back to you were talking about Jimbo Slice. This Timbo Slice.
Timbo Slice.
Timbo Slice.
Where's Timbo Slice?
He's gone. He's got to go back up front.
You gotta go back up front. I saw a figure in the shadows.
Yeah, it was probably him. Yeah.
So what? What are we looking at here? We're looking in the background. I see.
Dude,
I'm gonna full screen this.
If ever anybody needed a green screen thing, it's me right now. This is just not cool. This is just where the fancy all-in-one computer is based right here.
Well, I see a hyperball. I also see, what else do I see there?
Hyperball, that's firepower.
I see Space Invaders.
I don't know. Yeah, there's firepower. There's firepower.
Yep, firepower. Space Invaders.
There's Space Invaders.
There's
Ghost has one of those, do they not?
They do. They don't have hyperball, but they have rapid fire, which is pretty much a very similar pin.
That hyperball
it's
not good.
Different.
It's not good.
It's target shooting, but using mini pinballs.
Yeah, it has many pinballs. I actually took it apart months ago to clean it because I was curious how well it was going to clean up. It cleaned up well, but it has an issue with the actual shooter.
Mm-hmm.
The oil in the shooter is stuck on, so it blows the fuse.
Ooh, that's not good.
There's something. It's not called a driver board. Hyperball. It has like a fancy name for it. Like on a traditional Williams pinball machine, they call it an MPU, which stands for microprocessor unit. But that one's a CPU. So whatever the deal is there, but that's very low on the list of priorities, as you could probably surmise. I have on a weekly basis about 30 pinball machines that I have to clean every week. Because free play pinball, they get destroyed in this place.
And I don't understand. There's supposedly where's all the dirt the pinball is picking it up from? That's what I want to know.
The ball and the coils. The coils is if you don't know how to play pinball and you're just doing this,
Yeah, because I'm like, and this turkey has joined us again. Of course.
Give me 1 second.
Yes, Cody has crashed the stream once again. Anyway.
This is clogged. I'll be back.
Well, I just saw a note, and I'm going to have to talk to this youngster off stream about it. But anyway. Well, let's start off with this before I go into the crimes in gaming. And looks like I got
we
some.
didn't solve any crimes last time. We just talked about me last time, which
Yeah, and I got a spammer in here. I gotta get
that
this
was
guy out of
educational.
here. How do I get rid of this clown over here? Oh, darn it. I got a spammer, and I can't get rid of it. What the hell?
Why?
I don't know. It's like, it's a Twitch bot.
Oh, on Twitch.
Yeah, but it's not
I've
letting
seen
me.
Twitch bots.
I can't kick him. Unless I'm like, oh, damn it. How the heck do I kick him? Everybody else manages to do this or get rid of him easily. Block it. Did that get rid of him? No, it didn't. Damn it. Ah! Oh, well, I'm not going to. Whatever.
First shoe bot.
Okay. Yeah. First question for you. So, there's been kind of a lot of chatter. Was that right? Well. Yeah, but I just want to get KJ. I just want to delete mod delete the chat or the commenter. Oh, I am done before. Damn it. Oh well. Screw it. Screw it. He'll scroll off screen. I don't care at this point. Anyway. So, Gamer of the Year.
Oh.
Your thoughts on Zurst being named the first repeat Gamer of the Year? Well, back-to-back Gamer of the Year.
And technically, back. Has he? I mean, you did win a T20.
Yes.
So he didn't win that one. That was 2021, right?
2020, he stayed home because he was afraid of COVID.
So you won by default. Okay.
I wouldn't say I won by default. I played against 5 other players, one of which I had back on my podcast, Larry Brock, who came within 3 of catching me.
Yeah, Larry Brocky. He would have been 16 years old, I think, when he started coming around.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he owns all of the house highs on the Galagas at the Go still.
He doesn't. He has one of them, I think. He has one.
Galaga 88.
But there's Galaga and the reunion cabinet. One person has the high for normal bullets. Another person has the house high for speed bullets. And of course, the separate settings. That is difficulty level and how many ships are available. I mean, there's a 5-ship limit on one game.
There's different modes in Galaga. There's one, I think you start with 5 lives, and then there's the other one that's 3 lives, but you can get extra lives. So that's marathon mode.
Yes, and then one particular difficulty, you can loop the game. That is, you reach stage 0, and the game does not crash. It just starts over at stage 1.
So they fixed it.
You have to have it set for medium difficulty. Now, I've seen it where when they had that Galaga tournament, there was a kill screen. Enemies started entering, but they were glitched, and then the game reset. So that was a different mode. But yeah, there's only medium difficulty causes it to loop back to stage 1. And you also have to play from the player 2 side because Player 1 can't display more than
8 digits.
yeah. Crazy.
Now,
Well,
if you were to get the Galaga enhancement pack, that would fix that.
but it wouldn't be original arcade hardware.
It's a single ROM mod board that plugs in CPU socket.
Yeah, but with DuckMech.
I'm sure somebody somewhere did some kind of scientific analysis on the authenticity of it. And personally, I don't care. So
Okay.
we could talk about that. We could talk about Warcade and me.
Well, since you brought it up, what do you have? What's your thoughts on arcade?
What are my thoughts on Warcade?
Arcade and you, because you had
and me.
You brought it up, so I'm gonna bite.
So years ago,
Mm-hmm.
this would have been about 7.5 years ago. One Catherine Bosey and Jeremy Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I met them for the first time. And this was at Underground Retrocade. It was just a random night that my then wife and I went there. And these two people come up to me and they were like, "Hey, we heard that you fixed Space Invaders." I fixed Scott Space Invaders. That was actually the last game that I fixed there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "That's so cool." And I'm like, "Right on, you know." So we just kind of like did like a meet and greet kind of thing. And then Kathy says to me, "You should do the Orcade thing," right? To which I said, if I were to do that, I would wind up hating video games, right?
So you were thinking of score tracking on arcade at Garcade?
Not at,
Or you
no, the Garcade never had it. No, I was.
Well, I know they didn't have it, but
I was doing it at Underground Retrocade and the Ghost.
okay.
Like we would go to the Ghost on Saturday, and then we would do the Retrocade on Sunday.
Okay.
And truth be told, I was not in a very good headspace at the time. Plus, there was the additional issues with my neck. Actually, I would have known at that point that I had one disc herniation at the time, and it was like apparently so bad that my button hand. I discovered. Were you at the first T20?
No, I missed the very first T20. It was the second one
I don't even
onward.
remember when you started coming around. Was it 2016?
I would like to think I started about 2014.
Okay.
I'd like to think I did.
Okay. But you just, yeah, all right. So you were in a T20. I was in the first T20. And I couldn't at that time figure out like what was going on, because there were shmups in that thing. There was Vulgus, X Multiply, there was Exterminator. Is Exterminator?
You know what?
Were you like a human walking? It's a shmup. I know that.
I have the game list for 2015.
Oh.
I'm going to
Yeah,
pull it
Primal
up.
Rage 2 was in there. Bubbles was in there.
Here it is. It's coming out there. Share. There it is. There's the list of all the games for 2015.
That's it. Yep. Kickman, Crawl. Yep.
I wish I was able to do this tournament here. because it's like bubbles I can do. Gosh, yeah, I played most of these. I think I think I've played every single one on this list. I wish I had gotten aware of the tournament and was able to do it, but I did not. I wonder what I would have done.
Yeah, it was a good time. T20 was better then, because that one I think went until close. I remember the Saturday date. I played until like 1 a.m. Like I was playing for like 13 hours. But the point that I was getting at is that like my fingers would go numb, and I didn't know what that was at the time. I had no idea what that even was until
I can relate to that.
I was at the chiropractor back then, and what would happen is my right hand, like in the wintertime, my fingers would go white numb in my right hand. The left hand would be fine, right? And so I asked the chiropractor, well, actually, this hand would get like real dry and ashy, and this one would be good, And I asked the chiropractor, I was like, what is that? What causes that? And he says, oh, it's nerve interference. I'm like, oh, okay. And it would take probably another 2 or 3 years. I was on the job at a place, and I actually like really severely hurt my neck. Like it was really bad, and I wound up leaving that job because like I'm just like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, this is bad, and it's bad right now. Like yesterday, this table right here, there was a 25-inch monitor on here, and I needed more room, and I actually took it down, and like my neck hurt, like really bad. Like I was icing it before I even came here today. So,
Ooh.
Yeah. So same chiropractor, he was like, yeah, you can't lift more than 20 pounds. And I'm like, okay, So yeah, it's getting to where it's like real bad. I had an MRI last year before MGC. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. And that actually, I'm skipping ahead. Let's go back to 21, 22, that period. This time, 3 years ago, I started spinal decompression on my neck, and that actually fixed it, because it was getting to the point where like I'm handling like these tiny little parts and stuff, and like my hand would just like reboot, like mid operation, and I just keep dropping them and stuff like that. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. I didn't know what that really was. But this is the same kind of stuff that like Pete Hahn is going through. Like his neck is real screwed up.
Ooh. I guess I was smart to go start seeing the chiropractor when I was in my 20s, because this pinky was going numb, and I was feeling a tingling in this pinky finger. Yes. And I was like, why is it doing that? Oh, it's a pinched nerve in my neck. Yep. Not good.
Now, I wish it was just a pinched nerve. But it's not a pinched nerve. No, even after decompression, and it works pretty okay, it actually got worse. So I had a C5-6 rupture, is the way how they described it, and a C6-7 bulge, right?
Yeah.
And because I had a great paying job at the time, last spring, I was like, yeah, I need to get this stuff looked at, right? Just as a precaution or whatever,
Yeah, you don't want to.
Or actually, I needed it for the chiropractor I was going to down in Texas, they refuse to like crack my neck or anything like that. And I discovered after the fact that that's actually not good. You don't want them to crack your neck. You don't want them doing that. So,
Well,
So I get it MRI'd, and now it's a C5-6 herniation, C6-7 herniation, C1-2, completely different section bulge. And I asked about that. I'm like, well, what does the C1-2 do? And they're like, oh, your neck will just hurt. So I'm like, oh, okay. I just dropped something. What happened here?
Yeah, that's where I was for lunchtime. I went to the chiropractor. Yeah. I have a few different devices in my house. I have a neck massager. I have a foot, a few different therapeutic things. Foot massager, where I just got that I insert my feet in there, and then just the thing compresses your feet and rollers, little balls roll and kind of massage your feet to make you help kind of get the circulation going and again. Massage gun, I have that. So yeah, if I have like a sore muscle, a burning sensation, or an arm locks up, which has happened in competition, I have that stuff available.
Arm locked up.
So 2 T20s ago, the one I was playing Toy Pop, this kind of the muscle just kind of locked up, and then I had to stop playing immediately and stretch this thing out. Now, thankfully, it was the last coin drop of the day, but it hurt. It's like, what? I was fortunate it was the end of the day, but yeah, I had to stop playing immediately and just like get this arm stretched out, get it straight, get the muscle tension out. But that was the worst I had at any point. What is annoying is I cut myself on certain parts of the machine, like one of the bolts has a little piece of metal that's just kind of not been sanded off, and your fingertip grows across it, and then you find that your fingertip is sliced. That happened this year, and I had to bandage it up. They actually put a piece of duct tape over top this bolt so others wouldn't get cut by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What fun.
No, I was so like fried after T20 that like you know how they do like the belt ceremony or whatever on Sunday.
Yeah.
I missed that. I didn't go to that.
Well, back then it was 4 days instead of 3.
Oh, it was way better before.
I know. It's like I had more time to learn the game and grind and stuff, and it's like they cut it down to 21 hours. I guess, I don't know. I wish it would go back to that length again, but I don't think they're ever going to do it. And now they're going to change the format, they say.
Well, the shmups were like the hardest part for me.
We got another spammer. God, don't be bored. Another freaking spammer.
And actually, I would play Street Fighter at home.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to Bison at the end of the game and and beat him, like my hand would not work for about like 20 minutes after. It was messed up.
Oh, that worked. There we go. Jeez. Yeah, where do the spammers come from now? Dang it. Anyway. Welcome, our Blazeman. I see you in the chat. Yeah, it's the famous our Blazeman. Anyway. you also proposed one other thing because I was playing music from Haunted Castle that you wanted to name your top 10 arcade games that suck, but the console versions were better.
Can we come up with 10? What about 5?
All right, 5.
Maybe 5.
Haunted Castle, obviously Castlevania.
Well, I don't think you participate in arcade wars.
I do participate in Arcade Wars.
You do.
Now,
Okay.
if Haunted Castle came up as a game of the month, yes, I'm going to play it.
Well, the game of the month now is Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned, I saw the ads for it like in the industry magazines back then.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, oh, it's ninjas. Ninjas are awesome, right? And then you actually play that game.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It moves too slow,
It moves slow,
Yeah, it moves
but it's
slow.
also
The hit detection is very not good.
right now they're having a problem with the modder at Galvin Ghost. So the only score is this guy, Ryan McClug, has only put a score in. I watched a playthrough of the entire arcade game of the House Hot. The world record is like 195,000. So it's not a super high scoring game.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna score millions of points on it. It's just gonna be maybe no one's gonna break 200,000 either.
I never had the patience to like play it in even MAME.
Well, the funny thing is, Argus streams all these speedruns on Ninja Gaiden for the NES, but I have never seen him play the arcade version.
Because he's smart.
He's smart.
Smart. Yeah. I beat Ninja Gaiden like years ago. It was back in high school. It's like my senior year of high school. I played that the Ninja Gaiden collection on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I played it in that.
Another game that the console version could be arguably better than the arcade version would be Double Dragon 3 for the NES. Not the Genesis, the NES version. Although you're not a fan of it, well, it could be argued it's not that great, but it's arguably a lot more playable.
So my cousins and I, we used to, that was back in the old days when there were video stores and you could rent Nintendo games, right?
Yeah.
We would rent Double Dragon. Love Double Dragon. That was a great 2-player game. And
Right.
we would do you remember the fighting game mode, right? The B mode or whatever it was. We would do that. And then came Double Dragon 2. Phenomenal 2-player game, right? Double Dragon 2. And then comes Double Dragon 3. And Battletoads. See, I never played the arcade Battletoads.
I have played the arcade Battletoads.
I mean, I played it, but I never like seriously played it,
It is very different from, well, the difficult. It's just as hard, I'll tell you that much.
Oh.
But there's a lot more variety to the NES version, although I prefer Battletoads Double Dragon.
See, I never played that. I was actually, by time like the 16-bit period came around, I was actually like very selective with the games that I would play. Like my Super Nintendo and Genesis collections are not very big. They're probably, I think Super Nintendo I might have about 24 games, maybe. In the Genesis I probably only get about like 15. Like by that point, I just had like a few games that I like really liked, and I just used to just play them all the time. Like on the Genesis, I was hugely into Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog, well, the console game is better than the arcade game.
Oh,
That's
that game
another one.
is- Yeah, yeah. Sega
It
Sonic
is.
the Hedgehog. Yeah.
It is. It is different, but truth be told, that was the first game I played when I showed up at the Galvin Ghost for the first time.
Now, people can say whatever they want about the Ghost. Now, really, yeah, she knows what's up. She knows what's up. The Ghost is basically like an arcade game museum.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff there that you would like never expect to like ever play. I mean, it's kind of like games like Need for Speed where you drive like supercars and stuff like that. Like you would never drive that car in real life, right? But
Yeah.
you go to Ghost and it's like there are games there that you would have never thought you would ever play in real life.
Right.
And there's like hundreds of them, you know. Out of that 1,000 some odd games, probably about 600 of them they've never made it to the American shores, you know, like
Sky Skipper.
terrible.
Well,
Terrible.
that was in T20. There's only wasn't officially released.
Last T20?
It showed up for T20.
Oh, okay. That's cool. All right.
T21 to be precise. That was game 21.
Game 21.
It is not made to the arcade floor yet, but Doc acquired this from the person who I guess was taking it around the country. So I would like to hear the story as to how Doc got this thing in his possession. It was a contender for Game 1000. I'm surprised it wasn't Game 1000, but it ended up being Road Blaster instead. I don't know. What do you think of a Road Blaster?
I read about it. I saw that was the 1,000th game. Actually, that was like a really goofy weekend because I really wanted to know who won T20, which we should have known.
Yeah.
I really wanted to know who won the Gamer of the Year.
Well, I was hoping somebody would beat Zurst because they would have won Gamer of the Year. I didn't expect Zurst to repeat his Gamer of the Year because he pretty much did the same thing he did last year, although the number of house highs, his performance actually was a little lower than the previous year's T20. He only got 5 versus 9. And then John Liming and Eric Pearl actually improved over last year, although Liming finished in 4th place. He still got 5 high scores, which was better than last year. Pearl got 5 high scores. That was better than last year.
Well,
and we had Jacob Grimm who last week who took 2nd.
I don't know what it's like there because I haven't like come around. Going back to the arcade deal, I mean, I got to a point where it was like, I can't do this anymore. This is going to drive me out of my mind, right?
Yeah. Score chase.
And I wasn't even like really chasing scores. I mean, there was one game that I knew I could get the world record on, and I did that. And if someone does better someday, then that's fine. But people have tried, and they're like not even close, I guess.
Well, there's some scores that kind of. Now I'm going to pull this up because I was going to get to this later, but, might as well throw it on the screen now. Since we're talking about scores that you didn't expect that may never be taken.
People have tried, and they're just not.
The game was what What game was it?
Super High Impact.
Okay.
It's football.
Well, that's a good. Maybe Patzer could do it. But this is what these are the scores that happened in the last week. I didn't expect anybody to challenge the Rivet score, and now we have a newcomer named Zach Davison who beat Andrew's score with 1,700 points, almost 1,800 points. That's pretty far into the game. It's not easy. Pete Hahn came back and took back Ani, and he also took back World Heroes 2, which I didn't expect that one, and that score on World Heroes 2 higher. Andrew did take Legend of Kage from James White. However, KG has a 600,000 score that somehow Galpin Ghost lost.
They lost.
I don't know how. They lost the video somehow.
Oh?
You know, they turned it in and put it in. It's like they lost it.
Oh?
Yeah.
That's kooky.
That score should be reinstated. I don't know what happened, but 2 scores that KG got. Ah, you beat my Space Dungeon score. Dang it! But that game's not easy.
I know some of these people, but
Shadowland was another, and I was like, I hate that game. That game is just ridiculous. Ridiculously hard.
Is that KG that keeps commenting on here?
Yes.
What's up, KG?
Rise up and become the Zerstinator at T20. Well, the thing of the matter is, it's going to be a different format next year. That's why I say it might be a team thing. Yeah, Space Dungeons Temp, of course. And KG says hello. Yeah, this right here, I hate Shadowland. I tried to take the score back, and half of that is winning wagers. Well, let's get to this. Did we get 5 games that were better than console was better than the arcade?
I think we
got 4.
Now, don't forget Contra.
Now, Contra and the arcade version are pretty close.
No, not even.
You think, okay, the console version's better.
Oh, yeah, it's way better.
Okay. Fair.
I mean, I don't know about Super C versus Super Contra. I think Super Contra might.
Super Contra is kind of easier to play than the arcade version, yes.
Oh, I gotta promote my Sprecker's cream soda. This is pretty good. It's good stuff.
All right.
That's from here.
Right. Well, here's the moment we've all been waiting for. That you've been waiting for. Crimes in gaming.
Oh, snap.
So we're going to lead off with this. It started a week early. I thought it was supposed to go to trial next week on Monday. But now it started a week sooner. Started last Monday. Billy Mitchell versus Carl Jobs over down in Australia. They're in court. This is the defamation suit that Billy says Carl is defaming him. And this is the last court case that we know of that's active. The way the laws are.
It's been a long time in the making. I want to say Carl Jobs' last video was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Like I went to his channel to see if there was anything new, and there wasn't like any new videos. So
there were some videos on other stuff, but not the lawsuit. Because it's down in Australia and it's ongoing. I have not seen any press coverage of this. I don't think we're going to until the lawsuit is over. But there's been videos put out recently, and an interesting comment was made on one of these videos is you can't be sued for defamation even if you're telling the truth or be found guilty of defamation because of the way you say it. I was like, and I'm going to pull it. You know what? I got to find the comment real quick.
Did you say you can or can't?
Can. It's kind of bizarre. Let me go back here.
So if Carl Jobs just merely states a fact, he can get in trouble for that.
So this is what this guy says. Sidtopia #1 said this. Carl in his videos loves to tell half-truths. He also does not seem to understand how laws work. He seems to think that the truth will stop him losing in a defamation case, which under Australian law is not always the case. And I basically responded with, so telling the truth makes you liable for defamation. I'd make a joke about, well, so that's where the term kangaroo court came from. But I doubt the Aussies are going to grant judgment for against Jaws when the plaintiff has had numerous documented falsehoods. Well, he comes back and says, the problem is people like yourself don't understand the law very well. Well, of course, I'm an American. In Australia, telling the truth is defense for defamation. However, it depends on how you tell the truth. If you do it in a way where it's clear that you're being malicious rather than out of the public interest, you can be found guilty of defamation. Carl says lots of half-truths, and calling BM constantly a cheater is not going to help Carl. A news service would not be able to do this, but Carl may be lucky by saying he's not a news service and did not know better. Have to wait and see it. Like, I really, if he was suing on stuff he got wrong and did not correct, that's one thing. But it is documented, and that's what this fight between him and Twin Cox has been over whether he used MAME or whether he used genuine arcade hardware.
They scientifically proved that.
Yes.
You know what's funny? The first time I saw King of Kong was it was about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember when that part came up where like Steve Weeb, he had the world record, and then Bill was like, I have this videotape, right?
Well, he also said he couldn't use a double Donkey Kong board.
Well, I remember calling that nonsense like when I saw that back then. I never in a million years thought that I would ever meet any of those people or know anything about that stuff. I didn't know anything about scores or world records or anything like that. I didn't know anything about that,
Yeah.
But I remember looking at that, and I'm just like, that can't be real. That has to be bogus. But I never would have imagined in a million years that it was MAME, or the thing with the red joystick, like the HAP joystick, where Bill outright says, "Oh, I would never play that game if it didn't have the real Nintendo joystick." And it's like, it's right there. There's photographic evidence of it, dude. And
I mean,
can I go a step further?
Go for it.
When he sued Apollo Legend to the point of suicide.
Yeah, that was
That is where everybody should have taken a step back, right? And just been like, bro, this has gone too far. Like, this is part of the reason why I got out of that scoring thing, is because I came up in the coin op business. I came up in it. Like this video game stuff, this is the only world that I know, right?
Yeah.
And I never played games for high scores. I never did that.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was always, you know, like beat 'em up games, you know, like Ninja Turtles or X-Men or something like that. You know, there are people that are like, well, when you put it on free play, it ruins the game, right? And I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No, if you're playing it just to play all the way to the end, then it's like that's one thing. But if you're playing for points, you have
Like
to do it on one credit.
when we were kids, you know, the be all end all goal in life was to beat the game. You know,
Yeah.
who cares if it's the same stuff every time? Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, like there are a lot of games that I play with like God mode.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that I play with God mode, and it's because, you know,
You just want to see
I'm
everything.
trying to enjoy myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and as it pertains to like Garcade and like, you know, scoring goals and stuff like that, I mean, I did some pretty cool stuff by my standards years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to do 500,000 on Robotron and 250,000 on Joust. I had goals.
Yeah.
You know, and I exceeded those goals. But then it got to a point where, like I said, I wasn't in the right headspace during that time. It was actually like highly stressful, and you know, I wasn't really cognizant of the fact that, like, you know, stress and me with, like, you know, my medical condition, you know, those don't go together.
Right.
Very volatile, awful stuff can happen when you mix those things up. You know, so the very last game that I put up a score on was Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, because up to that point, all right, now let's analyze this for a moment. In 26 years' time, I had never won CC'd Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Never did it. And like, I go to the Ghost, me and one of my dudes from college, Mike Rice, we'll give him a shout out. He met me there, and like I go there and I start playing, and I'm like, yeah, that's not good, right? Let's go across the street. Let's go to Brixie's, you know. And I got 5 gin and tonics in me. I came back. I would gain like these supernatural powers, like when I'm drunk, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You would never think that that would be scientifically possible, but for me it was, you know. And then I did it, and I don't want to like play it up or like tell fibs or anything, but I think I had like the 7th highest score in the game, and it wasn't good by any measure. I'm not Pete Hahn or Chris Tang or any of those dudes, you know.
Chris Plackey.
He's not a Street Fighter guy.
He's Mortal Kombat.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna talk some trash now. I actually beat him in Mortal Kombat 1.
Well, maybe we should have you play Wars.
That's not his game. That's not his game.
MK1 versus MK.
Yeah, when I refer to MK1, I don't consider the new one. That doesn't exist.
The console only version.
That doesn't exist in my world. I'm talking 92, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, JP Pitts is now, I guess, the champ on MK1, or on the original MK.
Phenomenal game. Out of the arcade games, I want to say that one is still my favorite one. There's a mod for it. It's called Turbo Ninja.
Okay.
Or it also goes by the name Nifty Combo, I guess, depending on which hardware generation you play.
I know there's some enhancement boards that add features to the game, makes fighters available.
It's a juggle mod. So if you use Sub-Zero and you like freeze someone, they float up. So you like uppercut them, and you got like the fast uppercut recovery, and you could like jump kick, juggle them, and it's a lot of fun. But
not for the opposing player, though. I'd be basically going
I don't know
berserk.
if I played Placky in that. I may have played him in that one. Yeah, maybe that's why I had an unfair advantage. But Placky, if you're watching, what's up, bro? Say hi to Christine for me. Yeah,
All right.
I haven't. I mean, I was at the Ghost after VGS last year. You were there.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been there in over 2 years.
Well, you have a reason to go back because they all the new floor space.
New floor space.
Yeah, because they opened
I haven't been in the Chinese restaurant part. Yeah, I haven't
more. They opened more rooms. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was the restaurant next door.
Yes, they managed to squeak out more room in the air culinary
That's where
portion.
The R360 is in there, isn't it?
It is back there. Yes.
Is it actually on?
You have to play it by appointment.
Yeah,
you have to make an
power it up
appointment.
with a generator, like at their the 10th anniversary. I was there for that because I wanted to see. So there was another one that I saw in the industry magazines back in the day, and I was like, man, I wish I could see it, And I didn't go in it, but I actually touched it.
Right. Well, they also moved the Galaxy Force back there too.
Okay.
Which that needed to go back there because, doggone, it takes so much room up front. Oh, anyway, and plus, yeah, so it's by appointment now. I don't know how to make an appointment. I guess you call ahead and say, hey, I'm going to be in town such and such day. Can I try the R360? That's probably going to be how it works.
Was that that was G-Lock, right? Was that
G-Lock is on there, yes.
G-Lock, yeah. My grandpa got G-Lock back in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
The two big new games was that and Smash TV.
Yeah.
And G-Lock just didn't make the money that Smash TV did. And Smash TV...
G-Lock's hard!
Smash TV is one of the few games that I still love.
Yeah.
I would place that probably as my all-time favorite arcade game.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people, the old timers, they're like, oh no, Robotron was better. And I'm like, what do you mean Robotron was better?
Yeah.
Smash TV was a much deeper game. Not taking anything away from Robotron. Years ago, I actually played Robotron with Eugene Jarvis.
Mm.
And that was, thank you, KG. Actually, it was NARC Developer Day. Were you there for that?
Probably no.
No.
Developer days, I pretty much missed those.
There were a lot of people there that I wish that I would have gotten to talk to. Warren Davis was one of them. I at least was able to fix that later.
Yeah.
Because I consider Warren Davis to be one of the unsung heroes of that whole entire era. He's the guy that he invented that digitized graphics technology.
Yeah.
He was the one that made that happen, and he made the utilities for it. I mean, he was genius, But there was him and Todd Allen. Didn't get to talk to Todd Allen, but I did talk to Larry DeMar. George Petro was there. Eugene Jarvis, of course, was there. And I don't even know where I was going with it.
Well, there's certain developers that are there all the time that I see all the time.
Eugene, I asked Eugene to play Robotron, and he was playing Defender.
Ah.
And I'm like, well, this is cool seeing the man play his game, but I really wanted to see him play Robotron because there was, I don't remember which game it was. It was one of those Williams compilations, I think, on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
There was some interview footage of Eugene from back in 1995 or so. And he was talking about like warming up on Robotron for like 2 hours. He made it out like it was like this big, crazy, like, cataclysmic event, and it's like, I just wanted to see him do that, And
Right.
with that, yeah, it was back in 2016. We got to. I asked him to play the game, right?
Right.
He presses the player to start. Now I'm playing against him. But no, check this out. Check this out. This is a funny story. So the man that put on the NBA Jam 25th anniversary, that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That's John Kinkley. He runs Chicago Game Space over in what is that called? Kitty.
Yeah, you heard him. He's
Logan,
at my feet.
Logan Square. It's right by Logan Hardware. Have you ever been there?
Once.
Phenomenal place. Zespi, love you. Okay. Kinkley, after the NBA Jam thing, I asked him, I'm like, so what's next? What are we going to do next? Because the game that was the NBA Jam tournament edition that was in that event came from my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, what's next? And he's like, oh, we're going to be doing a show at UIC. And, I had like told him like what games I had at home. And he knew that I had a Defender and a Mortal Kombat 2. And he asked me, can I borrow those games for the show? And I'm like, yeah, sure, right? So, like, my Defender and my Mortal Kombat 2 are at this thing. And Eugene shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am playing my Defender with the man who created it. Oh, boy. And the whole time, both of us, we were like, wish this was Robotron. Another fun fact. If you look up Eugene Jarvis on Wikipedia, towards the bottom, it talks about that show. My games are referenced on his Wikipedia page. I mean, I figured this out within like the last year or so. I'm kind of the Forrest Gump of the arcade community. Like, I'm just in the middle of all these crazy things. I know you.
Yep.
Your heel promo, though. Your heel promo, it wasn't mean enough, my opinion.
The one I just cut?
Yeah.
Well, I only did one take. That's it. Only did one take, and oh well. Oh. Well, let's move on. We got other crimes to solve here. And I have a cat lurking in the background. Maybe he's going to settle down.
What do you got there? 2 or 3?
Just 2.
2.
2. There's just one in the room right now. The other one's sleeping in the living room. Let's go to this one because this one got a lot of press, and the number of gamers were laughing about it, yucking it up. However, the gaming media was throwing a temper tantrum because they were hyping this game pretty hard. Concord.
Ooh. Wow.
So Sony plunked down $200 million on this game, and it only lasted 2 weeks.
Get out of here. Really?
That's it. It's offline. They released it as a live service game, and the player numbers were very, very low. And, it cost like $40 a copy. either physical or digital. Well, the character designs didn't exactly go over, and it was heavily injected with, I guess, DEI. That is which resulted in ugly characters with no charisma, or pretty much charisma of a damp rag.
Hold up. Did you just say DEI?
DEI, yes.
Okay.
Well, that was the big strike against it, because it's like the characters had no charisma. They basically put, I guess, political content in the game that people didn't want, and people avoided it. And this didn't last long. The character designs just looked terrible, and they're just like, I don't know. People did not care for the political messaging.
What kind of political messaging?
Oh, well, let me give you an expert from an article on why this game failed and another game that failed, which there's a crime on that one too. The moral of the story is abundantly clear. DEI is not a great way to sell a video game. It turns out that when Americans head home from the corporate 9-to-5 job, where they're being forced to sit through DEI seminars and carefully tiptoe around HR departments, the last thing they want to do is pick through characters with an endless number of pronouns. They've had enough, and they're looking for an escape from all the craziness.
Pronouns.
Yes.
He, him, she,
non-natural pronouns.
They, them.
Yeah, random or made up or completely made up words.
And this.
It did not sell.
What is this? Is this an FPS? It looks like
it's a first-person shooter live service game. Yes.
Okay.
Nobody, and Sony, only a very small number, only a few hundred people played it at a time, and this cat is up to something back there. Well,
so people were mad about this.
People didn't care for it, so they just played something else.
It looks
like, and I'll show you. What did they play? They played Black Myth, Wukong. This had been an overwhelming success because they didn't, I guess, cave to. They did not cave to paying Sweet Baby Incorporated $7 million to add content to their game that has nothing to do with the game. $7 million, which is a grift. So yeah, Sony lost $200 million down the hole. Oh, there's one other thing. So I learned yesterday that Sony is actually going into people's PS5 consoles and deleting the game without authorization from the player.
So the people that did like it.
The people who bought it, they're finding that the game is mysteriously being deleted from their console if they connect it to the internet. That didn't...
This is part of the reason why I don't participate in modern gaming.
I don't either, really.
It just doesn't really appeal to me. I was burned out on multiplayer gaming way back in 2000. I was completely burned out on it. Or at least I should say online multiplayer. I was done. And that was a complete different era from what we have now, because we didn't really have mic chat, because we were playing on dial-up back then,
Yeah.
So we didn't really have all the, people that you can't even see, they're going to talk about like the 57 different ways that they're going to fornicate with your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it goes back to what I was saying about, Apollo Legend. It's like, guys, take a step back. Like, too far, right? Like, this is just going too far. Like, this is not the spirit of this. Like, this was not meant to be like that, you know?
Yeah.
Or Gamergate, right?
Yeah, Gamergate, and then there's like Gamergate 2.
Okay, I wasn't familiar with the Gamergate 2,
Well,
but
this is DI was part of that too, Gamergate, and gosh, the so-called forced diversity in video games, which didn't make any sense. Like they made a samurai in a Japanese game African American for some reason. That didn't go over well. Now, my point was maybe they should have got the license for the anime series Afro Samurai, which was a recognizable title, and people would have bought it. That's fine.
The thing about, like, you know, like Gamergate,
yeah,
it's really weird to me, you know, is I remember a time back in high school, you know, that's, for me, that's, you know, like 25 some odd years ago now. You know, I remember we would get together at people's houses, and like if the girls wanted to play games with us, we thought that was like the coolest thing ever. You know, there was no like boundaries or dividing lines or anything like that. It was just like, cool, you're one of us, you know. And I had found this video like years ago about this girl that was playing I don't even remember what game it was. It was some FPS game. She's playing it online, and just like, I want to say there was like subtitles on like all the stuff and like all these dudes were saying to her. And I'm just like, I was just completely baffled by it. You know, it's like, really, dude? Like, that's just, that doesn't make any sense to me, you know? And as far
well,
as,
if you don't like the game, yeah, don't play it. It's like, why are you all upset about how a woman is depicted in a video game? And now that's like, now they just take the charisma away, and it's like, we're supposed to still buy it and play it. It's like, they're finding out the hard way. You know, you can't force somebody to buy something.
So I can take it a step further.
Okay? Yeah.
You and me, or is it you and I? It's been a long day.
You and I.
You and I, you know, there is probably very little that you and I will ever agree on politically. And yet,
yeah, I haven't even mentioned
we're here right now.
Yeah.
You know, you and I, we had a lot of overlap at a variety of shows the last few years.
Yeah.
We always run into each other. We always talk to each other. It's always polite. It's always civil. You know,
but we don't talk politics.
We don't talk politics.
Yes, because we're not there for politics. We're
not there for
politics. There to have fun.
Politics, my opinion, has no place in gaming.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I've been dismayed because I got out of the wrestling scene, or I'm transitioning out, because politics got involved. Well, politics has always been involved, but people are using, I guess, certain things to take major shortcuts or not be held the same standard as others, or maybe escape disciplinary action for bad attitudes because they claim they take on something and then get a large Twitter following, and then they're actually their protection racket for blackmailing people. And that cat's gonna get this. They shield themselves with something so they're not, let's say, they can get away with stuff that others wouldn't be able to get away with. Like no accountability. Which is bad because people with bad attitudes ruin things for others, and
I am a huge proponent for accountability.
yes.
Like, if I screw something up, you're going to be the first one to know about it. And then I will do pretty much everything in my power to try and make right on the mistake that, I committed.
I do want to point out something else. So we're going to go back. So this is the other game, Dustborn. The crime with this one, besides being awful, it was funded with taxpayer money. To a tune of $1 million. A large chunk of that came from Norway. But I find out just a few minutes ago that the U.S. government put in $275,000 in taxpayer funds on this. Like, what the heck are you doing pouring taxpayer money into video games?
Who did that?
The U.S. government put in $275,000. Why?
Which part of the government?
I gotta look that up, and this stupid cat knocked something down, and he needs to get out of the room. I'll look that up real quick because, Dustborn, taxpayer money, $275,000. Yeah, that's like, what the hell? So this is going to be, is it going to tell me which part of the government? It doesn't say. Doggone it. It said, it was revealed in a federal document that it was supposed to, I don't know, suppress information rather than combat misinformation. It's like, seriously? Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, well, this doesn't tell me anything either. But the federal budget is like over $3 trillion a year. We're running trillion-dollar budget deficits, and you're throwing taxpayer money into a video game. It's like, what? Why? It should stay in the private sector. The government has no business throwing money into making video games. Oh, it's a new counter disinformation game, is what they said.
Counter disinformation. So that's is that against?
It ain't Homeland Security. I know that much.
Is that against your people?
Who knows? It's whoever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Counter disinformation is anybody that the government doesn't agree with, whether it's truth or not. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't want to get into political discussions with you.
No, we're going to move on. Here's another one.
I don't want to make you mad.
Well, I did that live reaction video 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I probably would have. I need to find somebody, but I don't know if I'd ever do that again. My stepbrother just keeps burning up my phones, and I just challenged him to this. And we got a bet for we put down $100 on the winner of the presidential election. So if my candidate wins, my candidate wins, I get $100. If he has to pay me $100, if his candidate wins, I have to pay him $100.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Yeah. Well, here's another problem. There's another crime in gaming where YouTubers were being false flagged. These are gaming YouTubers. Were being false flagged because I guess they were effective in calling out people injecting politics into gaming for so-called copyright violations.
DMCA.
Yeah.
I
It's like
remember
there's
when,
something called
I
fair
remember when
use.
DMCA was new. I actually did a speech in my my college speech class on the DMCA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I still have the notes. I don't know if I still have those saved. I think I do.
Yeah.
I'm curious what I was saying, like 22 years ago. Time
All
is
right.
stupid. Time is stupid. I tell people this every day. Time is stupid.
Yeah, I've been following channels like Smash JT, who didn't expect to get into politics, but he's having to talk about political gaming, and then he's in fighting with Kotaku magazine and that editor who's kind of a whack job and angry all the time and challenging other gamers to fights only to back down when somebody actually steps up. Yeah. Well, here's another crime in gaming. This is completely different. And probably the counter disinformation thing might apply in this. That's not it. Oh, I got the wrong window showing. Sorry. Let me get rid of this one. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. It's this one. There we go. National Guardsman gets 16 years in jail for leaking Pentagon documents over Discord. Actually, a video game.
That's not good.
The game was called War Thunder. But there was a chat group based on, or I guess for players who play that game.
Ghosty Devil, is that Foley?
Ghosty Devil?
Ghosty Devil?
Ghosty Devil. That was Jeremiah. But I don't know.
Yes, maybe, yeah. I don't
this guy,
Foley watching this right now.
So this guy apparently, I guess he leaked some documents because he was working for the military, or at least enrolled in the military, and he was trying to impress fellow gamers. Is why he did it. I don't know. That's there's a lot of people who use Discord. Here's another one, and this one's infamous. Let me see if I spelled this correctly.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, it was.
Oh gosh, this guy, Rudy Ferrati. Oh gosh, again.
My first exposure to him. Yeah, all this.
Yeah, he's a lunatic.
The way how they sabotaged that movie, I mean, that's not cool, man.
Sabotage the movie? What do you mean, sabotage the movie?
You see that pigs in the castle? You see that?
Yeah.
Part?
Yeah.
It was no princess in the castle.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. I think that was the original title of it, and it was supposed to be about female gamers. And he basically Hostile took it over. Yeah.
Well, he was harassing somebody who was chasing the world record on Splatterhouse.
Yeah, I know who that is. I don't want to.
Well, the person's name's in the article, but this person got out of it entirely.
That was the first exposure to him and his nonsense. That was back when he was in the Galloping Ghost Productions group on Facebook.
Oh, he was in the group.
Was in the group, and then he acted completely out of line, and they wound up banning him from it. No, I was just reading about him about like 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
And just the utter nonsense that dude was up on. Yeah,
and his YouTube page is still up, and he also and complete with promos of him running his mouth. Oh.
There it is, Gamergate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood Gamergate, but Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Documentary.
Yep. I know some of the people that were involved in that, and it just did not really end well for anybody. You know, it was not
No.
good. It was not good.
Well, here's a basic. So I'm going to pull up a basic cheating in first-person shooter games.
I could tell you all about that.
Yeah, let's go for it. Because there's been a lot.
That's what burned me out on Quake 2. I played Quake 2 in the online gaming league ladder back then.
You're talking about. Okay, so some of the recent esport tournaments have had quite a bit of money on the line. I think there was one that was like giving away $4 million. Well, somebody was cheating in one of those and got disqualified, but didn't go to. Oh, yeah.
Yep. I played Team Fortress 2 one time, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
I should pull up one of these articles where there was like cheating in esports, $1 million. See which one. Warzone hackers caught cheating live in $1 million tournament.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Census cut. Yeah. $1 million cheaters. See if I can get to a good part of this. Well, they basically use aimbots and stuff, and where they can't miss, or they're able to see where their opponents are through walls.
Yes.
Which is not normal.
We had that. We had that back then in Quake 2.
Yeah.
There was a hack. It was a player model hack. It was called Nose Pack. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Nose Pack.
And Nose Pack, what they did was they like basically reshaped the head into like this long pointer thing that would stick through walls. And there were matches where we would we'd be coming around the corner and they would know exactly where we were at. And they would hit us with like the rail gun and yeah.
Oh gosh, get it away. There you go. Well, this is apparently somebody who was accused of cheating, but still won part of the money, I guess. Or some other videos online where they've caught them. It was like entire teams were disqualified, and it was like they're playing. Oh god, this is the one. Yeah, $4 million. Jeez, I think they're playing Dota or something.
Europe.
DOTA, which I'm not really familiar with that one, but it's some sort of strategy game.
I don't know any. Funny story.
This is Dota.
No, yeah.
He was using a cheat. The anti-cheating mechanisms kicked in. They stopped the game and went over to the player that was supposedly cheating. He had this program that was renamed Word.exact, trying to hide this program that was the cheat bot. He was trying to hide it right in front of him, and it's like, you're disqualified. Your entire team is disqualified from the tournament. And that was it. He was caught, and it was like live. Pretty incredible.
Mm.
And there's League of Legends. Yeah, screen cheating. Gosh. You know, if you have, it's these type of setups here. If you have a doggone, if you have big screens all around the arena and you're trying to tell somebody, don't look back at the biggest screens, that's going to be hard to do. It's like you don't have them in view of the you set them up where the players are not in view of the screens, or maybe you just hide them, like have them sit way back.
What is this?
What's this? Adderall usage?
Adderall usage. That is something I never
Drug usage during video games.
never
Which
got
I
into.
don't know how.
Oh, is this?
I don't know how it
it
give you an advantage other than, I don't know.
They made a Halo 5.
Apparently so.
Really?
There's been several Halos.
Wow.
Feeding kills to other people. Gosh.
Grandpa.
Yeah, it's like,
What is all this?
this is a watch mode. So this is Dota. Here we go. Yeah.
What is all this?
Well, it's obviously 10 times
You
pro
people need to
gamers
get better
got caught.
hobbies.
Yeah, 10 times pro gamers got caught cheating. And I have not played any of these. I've not played Halo 5. I've not played Counter-Strike. I've not played Call of Duty. Certainly not played Dota. Overwatch, I haven't played that one either. Yeah, aimbot's in play. League of Legends. And somebody was caught cheating, and they were fined $30,000. This is where they were looking at the giant screen positioned above their booth, displaying their mini map, which apparently was illegal, but they could still see it. But they were told not to look at it, and then they just slapped them with a fine, then kicked them out. It's like, I don't think I'd spend. I'm not going to hand you guys $30,000. Yeah. Here's another common one. You know, this has all happened in the 80s, and, well, pretty much all the time. Copying ROMs, illegal. Well, software piracy, obviously. All throughout 70s, 80s, 90s. Going back to the Commodore 64, the 8-bit computers, IBM.
I saw some Commodore 64s last week.
Yeah. I got a bug.
Yeah, VCF Midwest. That was a lot of fun. It was actually at the same place Pinball Expo is going to be.
Yeah. I still have, has anyone got in jail for ROMs? Well, I know Nintendo has sued people who distribute ROMs.
Oh yeah, they killed MU Paradise.
Yeah. Well, anyway, back in the day, we would buy, the 250 and one, the 150 and one cartridges for the NES. There was some sort of newsletter that was advertised in a video game magazine that I subscribed to. It only lasted 2 issues, but they sent me a videotape where it showcased the multi-carts, the illegal multi-carts. And then they put an ad for someplace down in the Caribbean. I was like, now those are kind of commonplace, because now you can go to the mall and buy this NES clone with all these games loaded in there. And Nintendo has sued these people who sold them those. What are those illegal NES consoles? Gosh, yeah, the mini Nintendo consoles. Oh, yeah. I would see those at the mall and the kiosk.
Flea markets.
Flea markets, yes. But they would have stuff like this with these altered tile screens and the copyright messages or the name of the maker of the game taken off. Yeah, and then you buy programs that would crack Commodore 64 games or Atari games so you can make a backup of it. because they had all this copy protection. Oh, that was pretty common. I don't know how many video game pirates have actually gone to jail. You know what? That went. I wonder if they went to jail. If there's any. Oh, this guy.
Oh, that name is hilarious. I've seen this.
Gary Bowser owes
Gary Bowser.
Nintendo $14 million, and he served 14 months in jail. Yeah, how unfortunate. Oh, here's another one. Arrested for pirating. There was a comment in here. Oh, somebody had one. There we go. A Florida man was arrested and sentenced for 15 months in jail for dealing. I'm going to open this one. Oh, this is in 2008. Yeah. $400,000 in restitution. Selling video game systems that were preloaded. I wonder what. Yeah, it was a Nintendo console. Shocking. Let's see another one. Who like Nintendo games? Here we go. Like this. Oh, this was the same one. Gary Bowser. Jeez. Just saw that one. Let's see this. 3 members of the notorious video game piracy group charged with several felonies. Team Executor. And they're out of, well, we have Bowser again, but got somebody from France and somebody from China. Wow. Okay. And a lot of people are complaining about Nintendo not preserving video game history, which is why so much of this happens. But, yeah. So that's another crime. Oh, this is another one that's off the top of my head. Video games, gamers neglect. Neglecting kids, and I've seen a few of these over the years.
Wow.
Oh, I gotta hide this. Oh, I gotta put this in viewer mode. Oops. There we go. Somebody kind of close around was playing video games all the time, or at least they blamed it on it, and then the baby died, and it's like they never died in the crib without ever changing its diaper, and it was like kind of disintegrated their tail, their seat of their pants, I guess. Oh, I gotta refresh this. There we go. Oh, this is all I'm gonna get. Oh, you dirty. There we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, that's how you get bad stuff.
Well, I don't know, but yeah. Spouse's addiction to video games hurting the whole family. This cat's gonna join me again. Parents played video games as kids starved. Yeah. Severely malnourished and near death. Like, God, good grief. Dungeons and Dragons. Well,
World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Yeah, those massive online multiplayer games end up being, poor parenting blame. Yeah, I don't know about that. Video games. This is a different person. Video game obsessed mom neglects kids, starves dogs. Oh boy. Yeah,
Not even American.
I know.
This sounds like something someone from Florida would do.
Oh, there's been some instances in this country. I just haven't come across one yet. I do remember of them. Jeez. Ignore my children. Yeah.
I'm running out of stuff to clean here.
Yeah, I think we're about at the end of the podcast.
I got a silly question for you.
Yes.
Apparently, you've been speaking to Gar.
Yes. And I also talked to you about it.
He requested it be you and me and Gar.
Yes, exactly.
So I will be a 3-time Crimeycade repeat offender.
I think Norbert Vale has the lead on that. Norbert Vale, I believe, has, or Jim Patzer, has appeared at least 4 times.
Now I got to do it 5.
So yes, that is correct. We kind of talked it over. I talked with you about it too. It was like, so you and Gar Nelson of the Garcade is going to be on the Crimeycade next week. You're going to be in the house.
Next week?
It's next week.
It's next week. Oh, snap. Yeah, he actually said something to me about it last week.
Right.
And I was like, all right, let's do it. And he was like, oh, no, I'm going out of town next weekend. This weekend. He's going out of town. So he didn't want to do it today. So I'm like, oh.
Well, no, yes.
Okay.
I asked him when I was like searching for a guest for tonight. I did fire a message to him, and he said he would do it sometime in the future, but he couldn't do it on this date.
We were actually talking about it earlier, and he was like, yeah, we could talk about how much we love each other. I don't remember the last time I seen him because he's here like earlier in the day, and I'm here normally like till now. I'm usually here until the place closes at 10. I mean, we've been here.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I got here around 2:30 today. So,
well, I do need to show this off, and before I end the podcast, because this is happening this weekend, and I do not believe I'm going to make it up there. I was kind of teasing. I was pretty much saying if I run up to the Galloping Ghost on Saturday, then I was going to be in this tournament. I don't think that's going to be the case right now. But Sunday, Marvel versus Capcom. It'll be a fighting game tournament at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. Aiden Cordova is the defending champion. There's a question as to whether he's going to be there. Norbert Vale is going to be in the house. He wants to win the belt back. So we might have an interim champion. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be there, but
is the hardcore belt still a thing?
Yes, it is. I've actually one of these past tournaments during the pre-show. Oh, sorry about that. I moved the wrong one. During the pre-show, I had the belt. Then I had challengers for the belt. So the belt was actually being traded hands during the stream. We're coming after the belt changes hands. We'd run back up to the interview station and show off the belt. So that was a lot of fun. It kind of gave the title belt a little more attention than it had in a while. But yeah, it's still a thing.
Yeah, I don't follow any of that stuff anymore. And
I don't know who has the belt right now. I don't know who has it. but I wanted to challenge for it last time I was up there, but the person who had the belt wasn't there, and then JP stripped the belt from the champion, but it was like 7 o'clock Monday night, and I was not going to stop the game I was playing because somebody took my score on a particular game. I was trying one attempt to take it back. So it was like, maybe next time. Was not successful. But if I won the belt, I'd have to vacate it immediately because I wasn't going to be up there anytime soon. So what was the point?
Yeah, I'm kind of the opinion that no one really wants to see me, and that's fine.
Nobody wants to see you.
No.
Well, if I have you on here a second time and then a third time, apparently I must want to see you.
Oh, why, thank you, sir.
I must want to see you on this podcast and have a conversation about gaming.
Well, I will be at Pinball Expo. I don't know if it's going to be one day or multiple days. I have no idea. I just know that.
Well, are you going to step up to the plate and accept my open challenge?
No.
Are you going to step up and try to take my prestigious Pinball Expo championship from me?
No.
You don't have it. Ah.
I don't have any interest in it.
You know, you were talking about Operation Stephen Lucas last time around.
It means more to you than it ever would for me.
But you wouldn't be involved in another Operation Stephen Lucas.
What I could do for you is I could try and broker another challenge with. There's a Donkey Kong kill screen coming up. I mean, that was amazing, by the way.
Brian Kuhn.
That was just absolutely amazing. I told him to his face. I said, you were the real villain of the King of Kong. And then he...
Talking about the Blade Wars, by the way.
Yeah, he actually laughed at that. I thought that was kind of cool. Because he was actually a very unlikable character in King of Kong.
Mm. But I won the best of 7 challenge against Brian Kuhn, and now I think I should do another match with him.
It's because he didn't know how to beat the Black Magician in Kung Fu.
Well, it doesn't matter because I wasn't that good at that game either. The game I gave him a mulligan on Cubert's Cubes. He really botched his first play of that.
Not a fan of that game. We actually got one of those here, and I tried playing it one day, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't good. This is not good.
Well, Galvin Ghost has that prototype version.
Yeah, now that was a pretty cool acquisition. I have to give it up to that.
All right. I guess plug your website. You do have a website. We're wrapping this up.
Arcaderepair.net.
All right.
Don't forget my YouTube channel, my video game music, and I actually I have been getting into like more computer related videos. I got those up there. You're not gonna post this, are you?
What?
I was in the Rock River Film Festival back in 2006.
Well, this actually starts the week because obviously the following weekend, or it's just basically a vendor could set up at Rock River and then run over here like 2 days later, or start setting up Monday.
Dude, if I had
tear down Sunday and then run over here, they'd have an entire week of vending their wares. That's a long week, but it's all gaming.
Yeah, I mean, This is actually my first job ever where I got like vacation days, and I haven't used any since MGC, since I got over the insomnia nonsense.
Yeah.
Which I'm still good. I finally got blackout shades in my bedroom because I go to sleep. Normally I would go to sleep like when the sun is about to come up, and my building faces east, so like the sun is just like, it's just obnoxious. And you can buy these like blackout shades from Home Depot. They're like about $13 each. So for about $30, I improved my life significantly. It's actually like it's amazing. I have no idea why I didn't do it like a year sooner, but
well, do you have any advice about I don't know, you had the blackout shades, but what do I do about this turkey over here? Because he
pet him.
Both of these cats are trying to get me out of bed at 5 a.m.
Funny story.
Okay.
This is going to be like our last story. I participated in a documentary shoot for a now prominent music producer out in LA.
Okay.
And we were staying at the actual the subject of the documentary. It was a professor down at Eastern Illinois University, and we stayed at their house. And they had 3 cats with claws. I got ripped up in that.
They attack you or what?
Oh yeah. Well, because
they're just mean.
We had to scoop up the cats and take them out of the room when we were like shooting interviews, like in the living room or whatever. But
this is why I have this. They run from this.
Yeah, we didn't have that. Okay, so check this out. So I had like one of those big giant Targus backpacks. Like it had all of my stuff in it, my laptop, and it was heavy, right?
Yeah.
This guy I knew from college and we were staying in one of the bedrooms, and one of the cats, or maybe multiple cats, I don't know, they all look the same. I think they were all black cats, if I'm not mistaken. But like the cat would come up and like paw the door open.
Okay.
And I'd be like, bro, go away, And you would close the door. It was one of those doors that like wouldn't click shut. Right?
Okay.
It wouldn't click shut. So you close the door, go lay down. Cat comes up, smacks the door open, knocks all the stuff over. And finally, I got the idea. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set the backpack in front of the door. The cat's not going to be able to move this. And that was it. The cat never messed with us again. But, yeah, that was a fun project. I'm looking at this container full of alcohol and all the solder particles that are in the bottom of it. I can't wait to dump this out and clean it out. But
I think I need another glass of wine.
Glass of wine?
Yes. I don't know. I've stupidly drank too much wine and I've added weight to my gut.
Yeah, I actually quit drinking after MGC 3 years ago.
That's part of the reason why I've been drinking is because my doggone the common cold that I brought home from Galloping Ghost on Labor Day. I'm still kind of bothered by it.
You need Zicam.
Well, I have that, but I decided to take
you have to use
vitamin cocktails instead.
You have to use it at the right time. You got to get it like before the sore throat thing kicks in.
Unfortunately, it was too late.
Usually, like MGC, for instance, like when I go back to the hotel, I'll just pop like one of those little Zicam tablets and then I go to sleep. But I got to take it Saturday night.
Okay.
And then I got COVID.
Good grief.
Because yeah. Apparently, going to an event where there's like 30,000 people and you're running on like 4 hours of sleep is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy. I come back to work on Monday because the Garcade is actually closed on Monday. That's like maintenance day. like any of the stuff that like broke over the weekend, we fix it, right? And then like I get to Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm cleaning the pinball machines, and like that's heavy glass, right? You're taking the heavy glass off. It got to a point where I was like dizzy, and I was like, whoa, and like I almost wiped out. Like it could have been disastrous.
Yeah, you've been falling on the ground and covered in broken glass.
I've broken pinball glass. It's not cool, dude. It's not cool.
I've actually seen whether a back glass on a pinball, they were taking things down. It literally turned to powder on them.
It actually implodes because it's tempered glass. It implodes, and the really crazy thing about it is it sounds like Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
It sounds like Rice Krispies.
Well, he needed new back glass, and he needed he had to clean up the mess on the ground. It's like,
yeah, I broke a glass. I was backing a glass out, and it touched one of the other machine's legs, the exposed metal legs. The glass broke inside the machine. It was bad. It was terrible.
Well, this back glass actually, because the glass is like heated, cooled, of course it would crack.
Yes.
And just
it's science.
Yeah, which is why they got rid of the incandescent bulbs and went to LEDs, which apparently are cooler. Or at least they don't generate as much heat as incandescent.
They still do get hot, but not. It's kind of not the same, but
right. All right. Oh, you guys, something else? All right.
Talk about something else.
I was gonna wrap it up.
Dude, there's all kinds of things that I could talk about.
I think we'll have to save some of it for next week.
Should be fun.
Well, Gard Nelson will be in the house, and we'll, I guess, talk about the journey of getting the Garcade up and running and how it developed over the last how many years?
7 years. I was there. I was there from the beginning.
Every step of the way.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stories that we could tell about this place.
All right. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get up there to play. I mean, I'm probably going to have to pick a weekend where I'd have to spend one day at Vintage Vault and another day at Garcade. Even though I got that year pass at Galloping Ghost, I'm chasing scores. Yeah, I'm chasing scores. You know why I'm chasing scores? It's because I didn't chase scores back then. So it's kind of a more recent pursuit of mine. I didn't do it lifelong. It was just the last 10 years.
I remember talking to Quigley years ago. telling me about Operation Stephen Lucas.
So he was the source.
Oh yeah. Quigley was a character. I miss Quigley.
Well, they were telling me not to play games that he had the high on.
What's that you got? Matt Mania?
In my house, yeah, I got Matt Mania.
Is Matt Mania the one-on-one and Mania Challenge is the tag team one?
Mania Challenge is it's versus. Mania Challenge is versus. Matt Mania is single player only.
Okay. This is like Karate Champ.
So I'm like, well,
I actually have a single player Karate Champ. I need to.
Well, Quigley, before he passed away, ran up 1 million on that game. I haven't spent the time to do that.
And then Han took it.
Oh, Han passed him?
Han took it. And he was,
took third. Okay.
Quigley was not happy about it.
I'm
like, dude, this is the reason why I don't participate in this stuff anymore. Like, this is the reason,
Well, I'm not going to play the game 10 hours and get the max out, which is what Lumbo did.
You know what's funny about that game is one of the moves is the Tombstone Pile Driver.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
Yep. Or
Is that-
jumping pile
I don't-
driver.
I want to say maybe Andre the Giant used to do it. I think he used to do it, like, back when he could move.
Yeah.
70s.
I don't remember that at all, but
I think he could do it. I don't know who did it before the Undertaker. I don't.
okay. Well, I know Jerry the King Lawler did the regular pile driver, but
Yeah, I don't know who did the tombstone. I don't.
yeah.
Unless that was a Japanese thing. Maybe they did it in Japan. I don't know.
Who knows? All right.
Well,
All right. So that'll do it for this edition. George, I'll see you next week with Gar, and we'll be back and tell more gaming stories.
oh, it's going to be eventful. Yeah, it's going to be utter chaos. I'm just throwing that out there.
Not horrific, right?
Oh, it's going to be utter chaos. It's going to be like all over the place.
Okay. But not
But
horrific.
if you can keep him on task for like this amount of time, you deserve like a prize.
All right. All right, George. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always fun. I don't know what like educational value there was here, but
Yeah, swap stories and kind of see what's going on.
I'm kind of doing this at work, like servicing tools and like cleaning stuff. That was fun. But
Yeah. Now I need to go to bed.
Yeah, I have to go home and clean at home because I got the apartment inspection is coming up, and I got boxes of like game boards and stuff all over the place.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
All right. All right,
Cool.
George. Have a good night. All right.
We'll be back.
Get some sleep.
We'll be back. Oh no! It's not time for me to go to sleep yet.
All right.
I got about 6 more hours.
6 more hours. So you're a night owl.
KG.
Yes.
KG.
All right.
I don't know you, but hopefully one day I'll get to meet you. I mean, maybe I'll pop in.
I have in mind to bring this youngster on the podcast sometime in the near future. I need to do a pre-interview because this kid has a story to tell. But the question is, what part of the story is this youngster willing to tell that wants it out there? Because I don't think everything will be. I don't think this KG wants everything out there, but the story that this kid has to tell, I think, would be quite captivating and kind of we'd learn some things.
Oh.
Yes, I'm not going to say it because I have not said it on a live stream. I got to get permission first. But hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get this done because this person's quite a gamer, but has had to face a lot of adversity to get there. To get as good as this person's gotten with dealing with everything going on. We'll hopefully get this. We'll hopefully get this set up sometime in the near future.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll tell you offline. Okay. I'll tell you offline later.
Cheerio.
All right, George. Have a good night.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, that will do it for this edition of the Crimeycade podcast. I am going to raid a channel. I'm going to get this started. I'm going to raid the Brotherford, who is a former coworker of mine. But next week it's going to be Gar Nelson and George Spanos back again. Until next time, gosh, you watch the Crimeycade podcast. Have a good night, everybody.